What is something you say to scammers instead of hanging up? Mr. Smashing Stuff, I'm calling about an accident you were involved in that wasn't your fault. Oh, it wasn't an accident. I meant to hurt those people. The pause you get before being immediately escalated to a manager is like crack to me. I laughed out loud. That's brilliant. I once saw caller at landline days with a number that I figured was a telemarketer. In a tough voice, without saying hello, I asked, "Is he dead?" And about a beat and a half later I said, "Because if he ain't dead, don't you even think about coming back here." Then what sounded like a young woman on the other end said, I hope she had as much fun telling her friends as I had telling mine. Sorry Johnny Fresh, if Freddy Fingers ain't been taken care of before the boss gets back from his snorkeling cruise, it'll be you who'll be sleeping with the fishies. Oh hang on, let me get the wife husband parent appropriate decision making figure. They'll be able to help you. Then just turn the microphone off and go about my day. We have a Rickroll extension. We forward them to it after telling them about the brief hold and then check the recording length the next day to see if they've beaten the record. Hi, we have been trying to reach you about your car's warranty. That's great. What plans can you offer me on my 97 Geo Metro? I've only been in 6 wrecks. They usually just give up. My mom used to drive a Geo Metro. Then the hood latch failed while we were on the freeway. Nobody got hurt or anything, but we never felt safe in it again. She got rid of it very shortly after that. My dad used to get a lot of Viagra salesmen, so he pleads with them to stop sending free samples because he's too hard all the time and can't live his life. I sometimes try to sell them stuff. I once spent 45 minutes on a slow day at work trying to sell a 120 kilogram vibrator to some dude. Depends on the scam call. Recently I'm getting a lot of we're calling in regards to your recent car accident. I relied with how dare you. I died in that accident. Those are the ones I act shocked and say crap. I thought no one would find the body too. If they are calling about windows and doors, I tell them I live in a tent. You are calling a tent. Did you know this? If they call about HVAC, I tell them I live in a castle, and we heat it in the wintertime by burning witches. I get calls for duct cleaning. When they ask, I ask if they do chickens or geese too. I pretend to be the dumbest guy in the world. Them. You should update your home security. Me. Like how? Them. A camera on the front door is a good saint. Me. Interrupts. Front door? My front door is on the side of my house. How will that work? Do you have a side door camera? Them. Yes, of course. We have many if. Me. Interrupts again. Phew. I have looked so long for a side front door camera salesman. You sir, are my savior. Are you married? Side front doors, not to be confused with real fake doors. I give them a phone number 1 digit at a time and ask them to repeat it as a whole after each one. Then tell them they got it wrong when I'm done and start over. I do this but with my name. So, what is your password? Kaya Yuthu, Big K, Small Cyrillic, Polish U, Icelandic eth, Turkish Dotlasai. No bot will ever brute force this. Play along for as long as possible, just giving them fake details. You can tell the frustration slowly builds but they're still trying to be all nice and helpful. I've put them on hold before, as if I'm working in a call center. Had a guy on hold for 5 or so minutes. It was quite ridiculous that he stayed on the line. I can guarantee he probably appreciated the free break. Just to let you know, by law I'm required to inform you that this is a premium phone line that will be billed directly to your provider. By calling here you agree to accept all charges. Something like that not only gets them to hang up, but they tend to stop calling me after that. I used to get a lot of home security calls offering alarm systems and cameras. I would of course ask all the curious questions and then led them to believe I was using the alarm system and cameras to keep people inside the house. When I'm not feeling creative, I just tell the truth. Scammer, you bought tech support from us last year. Me. No, I didn't. Scammer, yes, you bought our tech support package. It's about to expire. Me. There isn't anything to expire, etc. They're not supposed to hang up, so they try for a long time before finally giving up. I regard wasting their time as a minor public service. Scammer was Indian. I'm Indian. I put on my Indian accent, then accused him of putting on a bad fake Indian accent to make fun of me and told him he should be ashamed of himself. It was a few seconds of fun. OMG, I wish I could have heard that conversation. Hi, sorry, this is my work line, so I don't take personal calls on here. Here's my home phone. Insert phone number of other known scammer, other prank call number here. Call me there later and we can talk. Works better for texting based scams, but would probably work for calls too. During election season I got a lot of texts from volunteers. I deeply regret not putting them all in a group chat. I tell them my name is Billy Madonna and I drive a 1993 Toyota Paseo. Then I start getting pee when they tell me they actually can't give me an extended warranty on my car. I mean, why can't you? You called ME, and the machine said I could get an extended warranty. That is false advertising. Let ME speak with your supervisor. I take a deep breath and let out a continuous raspberry fart noise with your tongue for as long as I can. When I stop to take a breath I usually hear a hello and then I take a big breath again and continue. No one has made it to 2 full raspberries before hanging up on me. Honestly, of all the replies this is the only one that made me actually laugh. I'm a child. I act like I'm really glad they called. I tell them I've been hoping they would call. I'm effusive in my excitement. They usually hang up immediately. Oh yeah, one of my favorites is I'm glad to hear from you. I missed your last call, and the message said my eligibility would expire that night, but I couldn't reach you back. It must have been a mistake. Got a call from a lady who said she can save me hundreds on my insurance. My insurance is $167. So you giving me money now? That's sick. I have been using Hank Cum Dumpster for anything that is not a legal document. Nearly 2 years. The past year or so has been glorious. Caller, is Hank available? Me, Hank who? Several reside here. Caller, oh, Hank. Reading notes. Have a good day, sir. Me, lols. It's pronounced cum these ter, it's Dutch. I have 2 things I do. 1. I try to sell them Wi-Fi. I personally have nothing to do with internet services, but I can guarantee that my services are the cheapest in town, and seeing as how you called me you must be interested. Now before you think man I'm really not gonna get as good a deal as I'd like, I can promise no buffers and high quality streaming at a fraction. Yes, you heard it, a fraction of what you currently are paying. If you just give me your first and last name we can get the ball rolling. No one has ever lasted that one. 2. In very heavy southern accent. Now the Lord spoke to me today and he told me that I'd be bringing another one his lambs that had been led astray back into the flock. I'm gonna open this conversation with a prayer real quick. Most people hang up. Some and very few last through my 10-minute prayer. After that I go straight into asking about their addictions and why the Lord is telling me about how their browser history is causing demons to enter their home. 2 reminds me of how I got revenge against a fake priest trying to scam people on Facebook into donating to his charity. I started quoting the whole "God is dead and we have killed him" line. Really got him worked up to the point where he said he would send men to my home to detain me and he could legally do it because he was a priest. So I gave him the White House address then blocked him. My favorite one is to just go along with whatever they want, using fake names. Then when they ask for my credit card number I tell them it's out in my car in the parking garage, and tell them I'll go grab it, then just put them on hold until they hang up. My longest ever holder was almost a half hour. I usually have to answer the phone because I need to figure out if it's a potential job calling. If it ends up being a telemarketer, then I usually have some funny excuse on why I can't buy what they're selling. My funniest one was as follows. ME. Pausing a video game I'm playing. Hello? TM. Hello. I'm here to present a great internet offer for you today. Let me start first by asking how much do you pay for internet? ME. A nap. I don't pay anything. I just steal my neighbor's internet. TM. Pauses to stifle laughter. Okay, well, would you be interested in Spectrum internet? ME. Not unless you can beat free. TM. Muffled discussion. TM says I'm not being disrespectful. Okay, thank you for your time. Have a good day. Spectrum is annoyingly persistent. I get weekly mail, constant emails, and they would even call me frequently until I told them to quit calling or else. The crazy thing is that I'm already their customer, and that's how they have all my information. They won't leave me alone, and they're one of the very few options we have for internet service. I got the IRS call on my day off one day while sitting on the porch. You know the deal. If you don't get X amount of Visa gift cards, the police will come, etc. So I stayed on the line for like an hour playing dumb, like saying which target do I shoot to get the gift cards cause I'm at the gun range, do I have to drive or can I order online, etc. Then since my morning coffee had begun to do its work and it was getting hot outside, so the guy once again told me if I don't comply the cops will come. I say send them. He says oh no, all we need is 2K or whatever it was. I say no again. This time he tells me the police are on the way. I say where? I can see the local station from my house. I'm told they are undercover. Why? It's an IRS thing, but I digress. I tell him since they aren't here I'll just go turn myself in and at him walking there. Cue panic on the other line, saying everything he can to get me to go to Target. Even Walmart works now. I tell him too late, just got to the station, bathroom, and that I'm gonna route him on with the desk clerk so they know how to book me. Dude hung up immediately, which was a bummer, cause I was about to pull out a wicked Boston accent and play dirty cop, but instead I continued with the coffee's work. When I know it's a scammer calling, I talk annoyingly slowly. Sometimes I like to do the same thing YouTube explanation videos do, and go on a long and winding tale of how, whatever company they say they are from, was formed, its history and how I joined them. I usually get the duct cleaning guys calling, so I will just yell out to my wife and ask if the ducts need to be cleaned. I will respond back that we are good. They will keep pressing and I will keep playing on, then eventually I will be like the ducts are cleaned, but if they have any fix for the quacking that would help. The call ends right after. I get a fair amount of business scam calls at my work. The one that annoys me the most, for some reason, is that we have a new manual for your printer scam. If you haven't heard of it, it goes like this. They call claiming to be from your printer service company, and they have a new manual to send you. They just need to confirm the model number of the printer. They actually want the model number so they can send you overpriced printer supplies and claim that you ordered them. But for some reason, their script has them ask for the numbers on the printer. So, when I get this call, I say okay, hang on, the printer is down the hall. I put them on hold. After as long as I think they'll put up with, I come back and say okay, I got the number. 3. We go back and forth about how that can't be the number. Eventually, I agree to go back and look for a bigger number. I return, again after as long as I think I can get away with, and say sorry about that. 11. I once got a scammer to say I love you too. It was one of those resort vacation calls and I kept him in the line for his whole spiel. When he asked who else would be vacationing with me, I asked if he would go with me. I was like, it will save on airfare because you're already there. Ended up with him saying he had to end the call and I was like, okay, I love you. And he reflexively goes I love you too. High point of my life. My dad once got a scam call at dinner saying he won a trip to Orlando or something similar. He replied with the biggest, most excited voice, Orlando. I love Orlando. That's where Mickey is. I love Mickey. Then he hung up. My new thing is to heavily troll them for as long as possible. If they're going to waste my time with endless calls, well then I'm going to do the same. Here's a good one. I recently encountered a very low-tech health insurance scam that used an actual phone line and not a spoof. I called them back literally over 1,000 times for 2 days straight and eventually got to the main person. He actually pleaded for me to stop calling and apologized profusely. LOL, it was very satisfying. I hope you kept on calling. Speaking as slow as possible. Yes, my social security number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. What's that now? Oh, 9. It's a 9. And the letters at the end are F and U. 8,675,309. Or I have some old phone numbers memorized. When you give them the 10-digit they sometimes catch on. I got a laugh from one I said my name was Jacob Meth, Spelled it out first and said, "But I go by Jack." He laughed and hung up. Great feeling. I usually go for the person you are calling is deceased and their death is currently part of an ongoing investigation. Please stay on the line as we may need to jot down your personal information. My grandmother picks up every call even when she knows it's a scammer, but she usually just says not interested and hangs up. Showed her my way of doing it one time and she thought I was a crazy person. Continually say hello, is anyone there? Can you speak up until they hang up? I always hope after the call they troubleshoot their headphones mic and spend less time calling others. I keep them on the phone for as long as humanly possible. I switch up the conversation, ask questions, stray completely off topic, slip in a few personal questions and just do whatever I can do to waste as much of their time as I can. My personal record is over 15 minutes of useless conversation which ended with me trying to proposition the male caller for sex. For the record, I am a straight male and I assume that the caller was also straight. I've been able to get an Indian telemarketer named Alan or Alex to give me his real name and location, and one telemarketer to stray from script and admit that, like me, he's also tried C. In one instance I was able to get the caller to admit that she hated her job and was only doing it to put herself through school. As much as I despise getting calls, I also try to remind myself that they are human beings, doing a job that everyone hates them for, and they probably hate themselves. I figure, at least perhaps I'll give them something funny to talk about after they get off of work. My hubby does this too. He always uses his best hillbilly voice and slang. It's funny when they get pee, cuss him out and then hang up. However, I have zero empathy for these humans. They are trying to commit crimes against often the elderly. Frick them and their scam calls. Talk to them, then ask them to hold on for a second. Grab a pot and something metal or wooden. Check to make sure they are still on the phone and tell them just one more second. Then place phone under pot and proceed to bang the crap out of it. Yep. Yeah, but let them on for a few minutes while speaking very quietly, which makes them turn up the volume on their headset. Then get the pot. If I catch their telemarketers or scammers, I usually try to take their order. Domino's Pizza. Can I take your order? If they catch me off guard and I have the time, I try to weird them out. What are you wearing? Have you washed your teeth today? They hang up before I do. It's fun. I only do this if I'm at home. I scream. They stop talking. When they start talking again, I scream again. So are you okay? I'm taking a crap and I swear it's coming out sideways. Oh god, please keep talking, it helps. Then repeat steps 1 and 2 until they hang up. Holy crap, I am not gonna live. Holy crap, OMG, I am going to die. I've come clean to them and asked how can I get involved. One guy cut the script and said that for $2,500 he could get me the software and hardware I needed to make the calls and that every call I made was my money. He then told me he made $10,000 that week. The scam had a beta scam. I was impressed. Tell them you don't have this common thing they're calling about. For example, calling about windows checking. Sorry, I live in a basement. I have no windows. My child got in a car crash and I need to pay. It's a miracle. My child has died few weeks ago and suddenly they're alive and in a car crash. Are you a wizard who can revive the dead? Amazing. Just confuse them and waste as much time as you can. Bonus points if you make them feel like crap. As a kid it was my mom, dad is dead, then fake crying and screaming till they hung up. In college DDs used ammunition. If we can't kill it, it's immortal. As an adult I give the phone to my 8-year-old and ask him to tell them everything he wants to about animals. I got them good last week. Fake crying for a good 5 minutes as I begged them to give back my children. I have started something new the past month and they only last 10 seconds before hanging up. Ring ring. Me. Hello? Scammer. Hello, so I am calling you from the IRS. Credit card. Duct cleaning. Microsoft etc. Me. Thank you for calling. I've been expecting your call. Today I am pleased to offer you high-speed internet services for only $9.99 a month. Can I please have your credit card number now to process the order? Sometimes I change it to some other idiotic service like COVID vaccination refund, lawn maintenance, air conditioner cleaning, car wash and detailing. They get startled when they hear my over-the-top enthusiasm and opening line, like I am so freaking happy he called me so I can sell him something. Most hang up right away. The longest I've had was 20s where the guy said "what sir?" and I repeated myself again. Scammer, we have received a warning that you have been hacked. Me, I highly doubt that. I work for the police, in the cybercrime unit. I would have noticed if I were hacked. Now, which company did you say you were calling from? Scammer, hangs up. Better yet, say you work for the US Air Force Cybersecurity Force. If it's a proper scam, call them, the gloves are off. So far I've managed to have 2 of them call me back to shout at me, which is the most desired result. First scammer, I waited silently for a while, then just made farmyard animal noises down the phone. I think it was either the pig squeal or the moo that finally pushed him over the edge. He slammed the phone down, then immediately called me back to have a go at me for disrespecting him. Yay. Second time. Every time he spoke I just said yes in a creaky old man voice, then when I was about to lose it laughing, I switched to an angry yell and told him to take my freaking name off his freaking database. Again, he slammed down the phone and called back immediately to shout at me. Most of the time they just put the phone down, but when some see is phoning random numbers to try and con people, any behavior is allowed. After reading through the answers here, next time I'm definitely flirting heavily. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.